Smith here. Welcome to the show. I am really happy about this topic that I want to talk to you about today, which is struggling with success, right? If you're meeting me for the very first time, nice to meet you. Just to let you know, I told you my name, Twana B. Smith from Mom's Guide to Travel and TwanaBSmith.com. And I have some notes here, so forgive me because there's a lot of things that I'm going to do today technically, and I don't want to forget anything. So just to know, let you know about me really quickly, I basically coach overwhelmed and high achieving moms and caregivers on how to leverage travel and self-care to help them support them with success in their life, in their business. And that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, which is this idea of like struggling with success, right? Some of us struggle with success. And what we all have to understand is that we literally hold the key to success. Yes, this is literally a key. And I got this key from service this Sunday, from a church service. It was a really good service where my pastor talked about the keys that each one of us have, right, that have been given to us that unlock something in someone, right? There's something that I want to read to you today that I think will help to drive the message home for you, especially when it comes to understanding this idea of a key, right? And this idea of your success. So let me try and share this with you, the screen with you here. Okay, it works, but I'm down here in this little bubble right here, but we will read this together. So this is a devotional that I was reading the other day, and ironically, I was reading it a couple of days after my pastor had that particular service and talking about, the keys that each one of us has. So I'm going to read it to you really quickly. It's on the screen. Hopefully you can see it. If not, that's okay. You can just listen to my voice. All right. So when I consider the word your, I think of belonging and ownership. Excuse me. As the owner of my God-given talents, I determine if and how they are used. My talents belong to me, yet they are provided for specific purposes beyond me. A dynamic between talents and societal needs are that talents are keys to the locks of societal needs, right? That's the whole thing about keys. If keys are absent, locks remain intact. Keys and locks have specificity. Because your talents, my talents, are specific keys to meeting specific societal needs, your talents matter. Your talents matter. You matter. I matter. If you feel like your keys don't work, I gently remind you, God is the giver of good gifts. Your challenge is finding the locks your keys are designed to open. That's everyone's challenge, right? And that kind of predicates your success, is making sure that you, one, understand what your key is. I'm going off script here a little bit. But two, finding the locks that your key fits into. And that was a bit of the illustration that we had in our service, which was really good, how this all ties into it. I wish you guys could have been at that service. So start looking at locks. What societal locks most move you? What situations provoke deep compassion, dismay, and or indignation within you? These feelings may be your unconscious responses to the urgent distress calls of situations you're designed to be a solution to. Respond to the calls. Identify where your keys fit. How will you know that your keys fit? Look at your keys' impacts on the locks. If the lock's resistance gives way and what was previously restrained is now free, you've got your answers. You've now matched your keys to their respective locks. Remember, it's your hands that will either pick up your keys and use them or put them aside. You own your keys. Your keys belong to you and they have purposes beyond you. Your keys are blessings designed to bless others. Knowing your keys' power, what do you choose to do with these precious instruments of love, liberation, and life? I love, 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 love that. And I hope that that spoke to you, right? I really hope that you got something from that, because I mean, I read it about 5 or 6 different times. I'm just trying to pull up my app right here so that I can track it. And I really was drawn to it because of just how much it was saying and just how much it was speaking to me, especially after, what I had just heard inside my pastor's sermon. So that's kind of like big picture. Let's kind of like break that down a little bit, okay? And here's what I think a lot of people miss sometimes. I think that a lot of times people are quite busy looking at what other people's keys are, right? What other people's gifts are, what other people's success and achievements are. And when they're so busy looking left and right versus looking forward and concentrating on their own gifts, in their own keys, they miss what is going to be their avenue to success. It's really not as difficult as we make it, but a lot of us spend a lifetime missing that point, missing everything that I just read to you about, having a particular key, your particular gift, and matching it up with the locks in which your gift can serve. Because when you make that contact, that's when you've got it, right? When you find the people that respond to your specific key, because those people are the locks, your gift is the key. When you make that contact and there's that sweet spot, that's when you are going to like really hit the nail on the head and really have success. And I just want to say to you that, success is, everybody measures success differently, right? You might measure success monetarily or financially. You might measure success as something a little less numerical. Maybe it has to do with your family, or maybe it has to do with your marriage, whatever it is. Like, success is however way you measure it. But most of the times people do put a numerical value to success. So broadly, that's kind of like, I think where we might be having this discussion, but it's not just about that. That's the thing. It's not just about, how much money you have, unless that's really just how you measure success. I think that success is across a number of things, because you can have a successful business and successful bank account, but have, unsuccessful relationships, an unsuccessful family life, an unsuccessful personal lifestyle. So it just depends on what success looks like to you. And I spoke a little earlier about this whole thing with people really comparing themselves to other people, or worrying about what other people have in terms of success. And there's 2 things wrong with that. One, you need to stay in your lane, right? And focus on your key and your gift so that you can find the locks and you can get your own success. And 2, you also have to realize that life is abundant, right? The world is abundant. It's not just, there's not just 10 people in the world and one person has access to, 8 of those people, and it's just you and that other person. That person has everything. No, it's not that. If you come from an abundance mindset, you will, understand and accept that there's enough at the table for everyone. Like, that's just, I need you to just accept that. Okay. I just need you to accept that and just kind of get out of a provincial mindset that there's not enough. There's, not enough wonderful men out there for me to meet, and find my husband or find my mate. There's not enough food available out there for me to, share with other people, or, share with someone that I might see on the street that's hungry. There's not enough money that's going to come to me where I am not going to have the ability, or I don't have the capacity to, tithe or give something back to someone less fortunate. There's not enough clients out there where I can be successful and, have a multi 6-figure, 7-figure business, and you can have a multi 6-figure, 7-figure business. Like, that's wrong. That's not correct. It's a fallacy. There's billions of people in the world. There's lots of food in the world. There's lots of viable men in the world, and there's lots of money in the world. So, the abundance is really something that you have to accept in order for you to get out of really just kind of like comparing and looking what other people have and coveting really kind of what other people have. And here's the thing about using your keys, right? And understanding what your gift is and what your key is it's tough to do success on your own. It's tough to build that success on your own. Yes, there are the anomalies like maybe Bill Gates and, Steve Jobs, but I don't really think that they were alone. They had people around them that fed them creatively, that fed them mentally and got them to keep pushing and keep, going past their goals and achievements. So, we all need that. An athlete does not get to greatness on their own. An athlete gets to greatness with a coach, with some accountability, with someone to help push them to go further and further and further. And an athlete will do whatever it takes in order to achieve what that athlete wants to achieve. Can you imagine, saying, oh, I want to be in the Olympics, but I'm going to just train on my own? Okay, good luck with that. You're like in a vacuum. You don't know how to analyze yourself or analyze your performance from the outside, looking in. You're inside. So you need to have someone on the outside looking in to tell you, no, do this, or yes, do that. This works. Do more of that. That's just it, right? So you can probably achieve some measure of success, but really pushing the envelope and getting out in the stratosphere of, whatever success that you want is more than likely going to take you having someone to guide you along the way. All of the most successful people that I know all had someone guiding them along the way. When I worked on Wall Street, when we first came, when you first come into, this was, back in the day in the financial industry, especially coming out of college, we all had mentors. We all had someone who was guiding us, someone who, it didn't matter how smart you were. I mean, I was coming out of Stanford University. There were people coming out of Harvard University. It didn't matter. We all had some sort of coach, some sort of mentor that was guiding us along the way to help us hit whatever, goal markers we had in the firm or within our own, personal career achievements. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry to tell you, if you think that it's possible to do it all the time, every time on your own, it's just not. So I just want to drive that point home to you. The other thing is that when it comes to knowing a little bit more about your key and your gift, is doing some deep work, right? And doing some, I like to call it psychoanalysis, but it's really doing some deep work, kind of sitting with yourself, sitting still and saying, well, what is my gift? What are my gifts, right? What am I fantastic at? What do I have to offer, right? What was given to me that I know can unlock someone else's whatever, right? Everyone has some sort of problem. Does your gift help them to solve that problem, right? But if you don't sit down with yourself, right, and do that deep work to figure out, well, what is your gift? What is the thing that, really inspires you, that you really love, that has an impact on someone else, and you're always going to miss the mark. That's the bottom line. You're always going to miss the mark. And sometimes it takes people a lot of years to figure that out. Some people figure it out sooner than others. I did not know that, for instance, one of my gifts was just like travel, like using travel in this very unique way to help people help women especially, kind of overcome a lot of things and use it for self-care and use it to help them really do some like real deep diving with their business and their life. Like, I just didn't know that. I would just do these travel oriented things, and then I would get feedback from women. And it took me a second to realize, oh, okay, that's another gift. I didn't know that. So you've got to really sit down with yourself and decide and determine, like, what's your gift, right? And what have you done that has really made an impact on somebody's life before, right? Because that could be something that you can be using and multiplying over and over and over again. And that could be kind of that wonderful avenue to your own success. Here's the other thing. You might know what your gift is. You might know what your key represents. You might have done your own psychoanalysis and everything like that, but you still aren't necessarily working with someone to help guide you, which is, obviously your choice. You need systems, right? You need systems to support whatever that key is, whatever that gift is. Because you can have a gift. Hear me out. You can have a gift. You can know what that key represents, but then you don't really know what to do with it. You don't know how to use it to predicate the success, how to build success for yourself. That's because you don't really know what systems that you need to help use that key, right? Think about a key and a lock, like a lock on the knob. That's a system. It's actually a lock system. So you can't just take a key and just put it in a hole and then that's going to do anything. There's a system inside the knob that makes it all work. This particular key is not cut, and my pastor did that for a reason. But, the key would be cut. The knob would have some sort of mechanism, some sort of system inside to make it all work, to make the key turning the knob and the knob opening the door work. It's the same thing in your life. It's the same thing with your own gift, your own key. You have to have a system in place or systems in place in order to make it work. It doesn't work. The key, just having the key itself and the gift itself doesn't mean, okay, now I know what my gift is. I know what my key is. I'm going to be successful. Poof. Don't work like that. You need to have systems to make that happen. Having the key is not enough. So I was inspired to talk about that today. I've actually read that devotional a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. I really, really want to talk about this. And so I'm glad that, I didn't want to end the whole week, go through the weekend not having shared that with you, because I think it's something that I really feel like that devotional is something that can inspire all of us, right? I think that besides inspiration, like, what do you do with it, right? You need to take it to the next level. What do you do with the gift that you have, the key that you have? Like, what do you do with it? Oh, I know what my gift is. I know what my key is. Okay, now what do I do? What do I do, Tawana? So that might be your question. And if it is your question, you can always have a conversation with me to find out how I might be able to support you in that, especially if you're someone who's just, your gift, your keys, but you've got so much going on in your life that you don't even know where to put the key. You don't even know how to use the key. I feel you. I feel you. But, I personally work with people to help me, guide me, because it's hard doing all of this on your own. So you can always leave me a message. I don't know where you're looking at this because I'm streaming it in lots of places right now. Or you can go to bit.ly/caring entrepreneur and you can fill out that form for us to have a conversation, have a nice little strategy call for you. But this is a topic. It's it's awesome when something that you hear in your church or something that you read that's inspirational, you can really apply it directly to circumstances and incidents in your life. I just think that that just shows the connectivity of everything. And that's because I sit and I really kind of think about things and read a lot of things and make it apply to my life and understand it. So I was on longer than I planned to be. Hello, Color Girl. How are you? But I would love to hear what you think about this topic. If you're watching this on any platform where you can leave a message, leave a comment, please do leave a comment and reach out to me if you want to have a conversation. Always happy to have a conversation about helping you unlock your gifts so that you can have success. All right. Everyone, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you soon.